The doors to the Viridian Tea House are open once more. Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's rather chilly today here in Denver, and yesterday it was in the 50s, and now it's bitterly cold. But oh well, it's autumn rolling into winter. So wherever you are, I hope you're nice and warm and toasty with a good book, cup of tea, coffee, hot chocolate, and just a big thick blanket. So in terms of news, this Friday at John Fluvog Shoes in Denver, there will be a tea pop-up shop. So it'll be myself and featuring also Dirt Druid. And it is, like I said, this Friday from 2 to 5 at 1439 Larimer Street. Truth be told, I didn't even know who John Fluvog was or is, and had no clue until I looked up the website. Those are some very nice shoes. So I can't wait to kind of wander around and allow my curiosity to have a lot of fun. So once again, the tea pop-up shop is this Friday. The address is 1439 Larimer Street, and the hours are from 2 to 5. And this is John Fluvog, Denver. So hopefully I'll see you there. I will have tea, very few books, artwork, and photography. So again, can't wait to see you this Friday. All right, so these two books I am more than excited to talk about because both of them, I'm just going to say, both of them received 5 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. Let me just get that out of the way. So I'm a big fantasy nut. I love all sorts of fantasy, and there are a couple of like fantasy series and stories that I'm really kind of a fangirl on. One of them being The Dark Crystal. I remember watching the movie. I can't remember how old I was, but I was like, what is this? This is amazing. I love it. But I always wanted to know more about Thra. I wanted to know more about the world and about the Gelflings and the Podlings and the Skeksis and all of them. I wanted to know more. And thankfully, there's more books and the Netflix mini series that came out, which was really fantastic. I would love if they could return it for a second season because I truly enjoyed it. But the books like Shadows of the Dark Crystal, this is the first book in the series, and I devoured it. I really, really did. It kind of reminded me of the miniseries, but it was kind of its own story, kind of like a nice backdrop. But let me just read the dust jacket for you. Deep within the remote swamplands of Sog, a young Gelfling woman called Naya encounters a mysterious silver-haired traveler who brings life-altering news from the Al-Madra. No longer bound to remain in her small village, Naya embarks on a journey to the Castle of the Crystal, the home of the Skeksis overlords who have accused her twin brother of treason. Unwilling to accept these accusations, Naya hopes to learn the truth about her brother. However, the truths that she uncovers reveal something far greater than the fate of one Gelfling, or even of the whole Gelfling race. Something dark is spreading throughout Thra, and there are those who will do whatever it takes to ensure that its true nature remains hidden. Couldn't put it down. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And I've already marked the next couple of books to be read on my Goodreads pile. Now about the author, let's see. J.M. Lee is an author, illustrator, and writing mentor with a background in linguistics and film. His story, The Ring of Dreams, was awarded first place in the Jim Henson Company's prestigious author quest. He writes cross-genre adventure, draws faces with really dramatic eyebrows, and mostly comes out at night. Mostly. He lives with his wife, Claire, in Minneapolis. Brian Froud, for those of you who don't know, is regarded as the preeminent fairy artist in the world and an authority on fairies and fairy lore. Yes, he is, honestly. His groundbreaking work with Jim Henson as conceptual designer on feature films The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth, another one of my all-time favorite films, set new standards for design, puppeteering, and animatronics in film. And Corey Godby creates fanciful illustrations for picture books, covers, comics, editorial, advertising, animated shorts, and films. So what a story, what a story, what a story. What a great beginning to a series that if you're into the Dark Crystal like I am, you'll devour this and you're just ready for more. And like I said, this does receive 5 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. I also like the fact that there are illustrations all throughout the book. And like they had an illustration about dream fasting, which I love. And let's see here, what's another one? What was a good one that I really enjoyed? Let's see. Yeah, I like this one. Loved it. Is that just not beautiful? Like, you know, I've noticed that I've been reading a lot of literary works and mystery works, which are great. Love it. But sometimes I get that itch where I have to read fantasy books, and when I do, like I'll just read like 3 or 4 and then I'll go back to literary or mystery or whatever. But this was a great vacation, and it was wonderful to return to Thra. So like I said, Shadows of the Dark Crystal by J.M. Lee does receive 5 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House, and I am looking forward to reading the next book. So thank you so much. And to the spirit of Jim Henson, you were not of this world, and I'm so glad for it. I really am. So the next book, let's see, put it over here. The next book blew me away as well. Like I did not know what to expect, but then when I started reading it and really getting into the characters, into the story, I thought, this is phenomenal. Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. I love stories about mermaids, and I regret that I know very little about African folklore and African myths and legends. I hate that. That changed when I started reading Skin of the Sea. This opened a whole new, not even a door, but just a whole new neighborhood for books to read about and cultures to study. And me being African American, it's on me. You know, I feel bad that I haven't really gotten into more African folklore than I really should have. But again, that changes. It changes immediately. So let me read the dust jacket for you. Simi prayed to the gods once. Now she serves them as Mami Wata, a mermaid, collecting the souls of those who die at sea and blessing their journeys back home. But when a living boy is thrown overboard, Simi does the unthinkable. She saves his life, going against an ancient decree, and punishment awaits those who dare to defy it. To protect the other Mami Wata, Simi must journey to the Supreme Creator to make amends. But all is not as it seems. There's the boy she rescued who knows more than he should, and something is shadowing Simi, something that would rather see her fail. Danger lurks at every turn, and as Simi draws closer, she must brave vengeful gods, treacherous lands, and legendary creatures. Because if she doesn't, then she risks not just the fate of all Mami Wata, but also the world as she knows it. And about the author, Natasha Bowen, she's a writer, teacher, and mother of 3 children. She is of Nigerian and Welsh descent and lives in Cambridge, England, where she grew up. Natasha studied English and creative writing at Bath Spa University before moving to East London, where she taught for nearly 10 years. Her debut book was inspired by her passion for mermaids in African history. She is obsessed with Japanese and German stationery and spends stupid amounts on notebooks, which she then features on her secret Instagram. When she's not writing, she's reading, watched over carefully by Milk and Honey, her cat and dog. And again, you know, if you are into mermaids and you want to read something that's refreshing and original, Skin of the Sea is the way to go. Seriously, I loved how she combined the African history and folklore of the Orishas, or the different spirits and deities, along with the Mami Wata, or the mermaids. And it was a story where I opened the book and I was there. I was right there. I felt and saw and heard and tasted everything that these characters went through. I really liked Simi. I liked the fact that despite what the gods, what the Orishas had set and laid out, she defied the rules because she wanted to do what was right. And I love that. And she never reneged on it. She never changed her mind. She never, and even at the end, which was both a cliffhanger and also kind of satisfying of an ending if I didn't want to read the second book, she still stuck to what was right. There are some moments, and in fact, at the beginning of the book, let's see, it says, content note, before you begin reading, please be aware that parts of this book may be triggering for some readers. Skin of the Sea blends 15th century history with fantasy, and there are depictions of violence, enslavement, death, and suicide. So yeah, this is, pretty cover and all of that, but there are some harsh things to read in this book, but it's no less satisfying. I could not stop talking about it to my boyfriend, very honestly. And I have the second book upstairs, and I am just, as soon as I get through my pile of library books, because, got to support the library, I cannot wait to return to Simi's world and to pick up where she left off, because where she left off, wow, it's kind of powerful, but she did what was right. That's all I'm going to say. She did what was right. So for Skin of the Sea, like I said, 5 pots of tea from Viridian Tea House. I was ready. I could not wait to review this book for Viridian Tea House. And I hope that even if you're not into mermaids, but you just want to read a gripping fantasy story with likable characters, either on the side of good or evil, you just want to read about them. You just want to be right there with them. A beautiful backdrop, meshing history with fantasy. But just overall, Natasha Bowen is one hell of a storyteller. Really an excellent storyteller. So again, Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen and Shadows of the Dark Crystal by J.M. Lee. I cannot talk enough about. I really cannot. All right, so getting to the tea. So before I do, I'm actually doing a tea review, but I'm talking about a new release. So a couple of months ago, I collaborated with Lydia Burris, who is fantastically talented and also the brains behind the creative zine Darkness Dreaming. Right now, there are 3 issues out. I think I purchased issue number 1, and it is for creatives, by creatives, and then some. So I had created the Darkness Dreaming tea blend, which she had bags. So if you were in the Chicago area, I think she did a pop-up event or an art event. I think she sold some of the tea. So now I finally have bags of Darkness Dreaming tea blend in my Etsy store. So the ingredients are smoky black tea, which I get from Asami Tea Shop in Arkansas. They rock. Spearmint, ginger, cinnamon, and hawthorn berries. So if you didn't hear me the last time I talked about the tea blend, basically Lydia wanted something that will remind her of winter. This blend is like winter. It's not holiday, it's not Christmas. It is a cold day in winter, and you're indoors with a blanket and a cup of this. And there's a roaring fire in the fireplace. So once again, Darkness Dreaming is now available in my Etsy store, both in sampler sizes and in regular sizes as well. So that's Darkness Dreaming. And on the back, there is her website along with my usual QC code. So if you're ready to purchase issues 1 through 3 of Darkness Dreaming, you can click, well, you can't click, but you can type in the website and go right to it. So hope you try it out. And I will have bags of this blend at the tea pop-up shop at John Fluvog, Denver. So on to the tea review. Got a lot today. So today's tea, I wasn't even planning on reviewing the tea, but I saw this one and I thought I want to try it. I love the company, but this is a whole new blend for me. It is Peach Bergamot Bright Day by Yogi Tea. Make sure it's not blurry. So I saw this and I was like, all right, you got me on the peach and the bergamot. So the ingredients are oolong tea, honeybush leaf, white hibiscus flower, that's interesting, licorice root, stevia leaf, rosehip ginger root, green tea leaf extract, lemon peel, and peach pieces. Also peach flavor, apricot flavor, and bergamot oil. And on the back it says, Yogi Peach Bergamot Bright Day Tea combines a lively blend of invigorating oolong tea with fruity peach and citrusy bergamot to brighten your mood. To this, we add lightly floral white hibiscus, tart lemon peel, and sweet apricot flavor for a delightfully intriguing tea that is sure to bring a smile to your day. So, this is my first time trying Peach Bergamot Bright Day. Unfortunately, I let it get a little bit cooler, but this is a great tea for the gray day that we have today. It makes me think the sun's gonna come out really soon, and in the meantime, today's gonna be a great day. That's exactly what I feel. I'm getting a lot of the stevia, and I'm kind of meh on stevia. I mean, I know some people use it as a natural sweetener. I could take it or leave it, honestly. It is a nice bright day of a cup of tea, but again, I'm really getting a lot of the stevia. Like it's pulling my attention more so than the other flavors. Having said that, it's still a nice, light, refreshing cup of tea. And I think I'm gonna top it off with some hotter water. But yeah, I'm getting more of the stevia than anything else. But I'm still tasting the flavors, but the stevia is kind of maximizing the flavors. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what my mouth is going through right now. So yeah, it's a very light and refreshing tea. But the stevia is kind of distracting me. That's it, distracting me. There we go. I figured it out. So that's all I have for today. So let's do a tea and water meditation, and then I will send you back out into the universe. So find yourself in a comfortable position. Make sure you have a glass of water or a cup of your favorite tea with you. And we're just gonna focus on our breathing. So if you're ready, let's begin. Now let's end this breathing meditation with a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Slowly open your eyes or allow your eyes to come into focus. And now let's have a sip of your water or tea. Okay, so I'm getting the, I can't let go of this. I'm getting more of the flavor, but it's really heavily emphasized by the stevia. Again, if they had taken the stevia out, I know some people, they like it, but if they had taken the stevia out, this would have been even better, even better of a tea. It's still good, it's still delicious. I'm glad I got it. but the stevia is just kind of distracting me a little bit. But now I'm getting more of the flavor, but the stevia is still just right there. But other than that, still buy Peach Bergamot Bright Day by Yogi Tea, because it is good. It really is good. Well, that's all I have for you today. So as always, take care of yourself and each other. Raise your teacup high, and remember that to drink tea is to enjoy life. I will see you guys really soon. Bye for now.